This is exactly what I do to pass funded accounts like this. It's not hard. I haven't posted in a long time. You guys know I started my new Discord server. I own it. It's just me. So I've been doing a lot of work, getting everything set up and making sure it's a beautiful place. I think we hit over $1 million in profit this week. Habibi works with me and we trade live every day in there. Bro had a $500,000 day this week. I'm happy with like 2 grand. I'm raising prices from $50 to $75 a month to get in there. You have 1 week left to join. Seminars every week, documents every week, trading live every single day, and the community overall is just an amazing place. You need to get in that server. Of course, I don't guarantee profits, but I guarantee you will learn so much more than you ever have in a shorter amount of time just from being in there. The number one problem with people passing funded accounts is because they know it's not real money. Your one goal is to pass it as fast as possible so you can get the funded account. Then you get it and blow it because you have no ideology of how to trade. These steps right here are going to guarantee yourself a faster approach and a better ideology of passing these funded accounts to make sure that you are maximizing the opportunity given to you. I completely changed my trading strategy. I've been making so much money. I just dropped a complete breakdown in my Discord too. It's Friday, the market's open right now. I didn't trade today because Powell spoke. We are starting off with the most important thing you're gonna learn today. Stop loss value. This is something that I made up and it gave me so much more confidence taking trades and also finding these big excessive moves like right here. You wanna pass your evals in the fastest amount of time possible, taking the least amount of trades while still limiting risk. Stop loss value is so important to understand. I trade on the 15 seconds, so this is an entry I would take. Remember, this is a mental strategy, not a trading strategy. This works for every single strategy created, so you can build this around how you like to trade. But for the case of this, I'm going to be talking about how I like to trade just so you can see my vision exactly and apply it to how you like to trade. I scalp the 15 second and trade supply and demand. I trade in the 15 second just playing continuations using supply and demand and just trying to catch good scalps. This trade right here is fucking A+, and I'm going to show you exactly why. Not only did we see a close below my zone with a lot of selling volume, but look at all of these wicks prior to this trend down. I always enter my trades at the closes of these candles, so our entry would have been right here. I'm taking this trade because of our huge top wick as well as a close below this zone, signifying me that there's a pretty high chance that this will continue down. I always run 10-point SLs. Look at how many wicks are inside of this 10-point stop loss. This is showing you a huge mass amount of sellers in this area, giving me a lot of confidence knowing that if this breaks my 10-point SL, the trend is going to reverse. So this specific trade I would hold for longer because of the value of my stop loss. I'm getting an amazing entry on this, and I have so much confidence taking this trade because of how many sellers are prominent above my stop loss. So I targeted my next zone as an entry, and we caught over 30 points on this trade. This is where watching my YouTube videos come in clutch. You might be worrying about trailing drawdown or making sure you actually make money on this trade. Once I get over 10 points in profit, I will target the next lower high as my exit. My stop loss currently would be around 8 points in profit, which is still not a bad trade. At that point, we just fell through like a falling knife and then we caught 30 points. And again, the reason why I took this trade was because we bought up and broke our zone with strength, retested it, and buyers came up and stepped in inside of my zone, pushing it back up and closing at a new high. I entered at this close and saw 10 points and took out. Now, why did I take this out at 10 points compared to the last trade where I held for 33? Now, this is a great trade and I'm very confident taking this, and it actually did continue up and we would have caught more than 10 points, but understand that this was just one wick rejecting off of a zone. Again, not that this is bad, but I don't have as much confidence holding this for longer because there was only one proof of buying in this area since I took the trade. Unlike the last trade where we saw like 10 wicks in a row proving sellers were there, we only got to see one candle here, and that doesn't mean that it's not a good trade. But again, I want to get out of this faster because I don't have as much proof of buying in this trade. You can see my stop loss was below that wick. We never even saw drawdown for 1 second, caught 10 points, and we move on. Every trade that you take, your stop loss is going to look different. But when you take the trade, look at your stop loss and understand how important is that area. Those two trades were both 10-point stop losses, but those look completely different. Quickly, I want to talk about why I do not trim contracts anymore when I'm trading futures. I understand that some people like to trim, some people like to take profit on the way down. I personally am either a holding all the way through or taking trims early and cutting my whole position. The reason why I don't is, again, because I'm a scalper. If I decide to exit a position, I want to make sure I'm doing it for the correct reason. You shouldn't just be taking a 10-point trim because it's a 10-point trim. And that follows into my next topic, position size. I get we all trade different ways, but you need to make sure you're trading with a small amount of contracts. I'm someone who can say making $10,000 a week trading futures is not something that's, a shock to me. I can do that very consistently. I never trade with more than 3 minis at a time. There's no reason for you to try and max out your position size to make the most you can every single trade. You are so greedy. Even with 1 mini, you can make $500 very easily. You just made $500 from your computer sitting at your desk eating food, bro. Half the people that do that don't even have any payouts, don't even have any experience. You're just trying to run it up as much as possible so you can screenshot that shit and flex to your friends. I'm sure some of you guys have realized so far that the stock market is not one to think about you. It will take every last drop of money from you with no regards. Stop treating this like it's a game. One of the big things that I enjoy about having this as a very big part of my income is the fact that I need it, okay? How big of a funded account should I go for? You guys fall for the bait every single time. Everybody knows about how they try to get you to buy the large because maybe the medium and the smaller are already so expensive that it gets to the point where you might as well just buy the large. It's worth the value. Always go for the smallest account they have. The reason why is because they are so easy to pass. So many people get fooled by taking the big option because they want to make the most money, and if they have 3 of these accounts, they'll have $1 million in funded accounts. And me, as someone who had over $1 million in funded accounts, it's so hard to manage. Most of you have never even seen $10,000 cash in your life before, and there's nothing wrong with that. But don't go and buy a $250,000 trading account and go try and trade on it because you have no idea how to manage that money. 50K accounts are cheaper, they are faster to pass, and they are the easiest to get payouts on, which again is your goal, right? On my funded futures, you got to make like 4K on an expert account to pass a 50K account. With too many scalping like I do, I can make 4K trading in a fucking blink of an eye. And once you get a couple payouts, once you get a lot more confident, maybe you can upgrade to those bigger positions. I just want you guys to get paid trading. That's all I want you to do. And that is going to be your fastest and easiest path to doing that. I made $7,000 yesterday trading, and we're looking at some of the trades I took to make sure I can just give you again insight on how I like to look at these trades. I'm going to show you the approach you need to have when you're trying to catch big moves like this. This was the previous low of day, and you can see we broke that with strength, so I jumped in right away. 10-point SL, you guys know how I like it. One of my favorite, I'm not big on chart patterns, but one of my favorite things happen here. This is called a kiss goodbye. Basically, it shows consolidation, and once it breaks that consolidation, it actually retests that previous level to go back down even further. And you can see that we happen right here. So we did break this low of day, came back down, kissed that level. You can see the high of day right here and drop even further. I'm in this trade currently, and I saw that we made this new high after this candle closed right here. Once that happened, I moved my stop loss to the top of that wick. Once that happened, I actually moved my stop loss to the top of that wick to minimize my risk, because if it breaks that wick, it's probably just going to hit my 10-point SL anyways. We made another red candle, and look, we came back up into that wick and sold off again, but we made a new lower high. So then I moved my stop loss to there. Now we're only risking 3 points on this trade for a potential big move. And you can see we rejected off that level very clearly, and then we made our new lower high. That, I mean, you can't really see it now because I had to move my stop loss, but I took, my SL was now like 10 points in profit. So now that I have a 10-point pretty much dub guaranteed, I'm just holding this because, again, I'm trying to pass my eval. Not really, but I move my SL to here, then my SL to here, then my SL to here, and then to here, and then I got stopped out for an easy 30 points, and I moved on. So one more time, this is the strategy I use to pass my funded accounts. I use 50K accounts. My stop loss is always the same. In this case, it is 10 points because I scalp on the 15-second. Analyze your stop loss. Is this a very strong area, or is this just a somewhat decent area? That leads to my take profit, where depending on my stop loss value, I will either be taking a 10-point trim, or I'll be holding this and trying to catch a bigger move while only risking the same amount. Just some little bonus cookies. I would always start out with 1 mini regardless of the account you're trading on, just because when you first start the account, you want to try and build some drawdowns so you can have more room to play with. When I trade with 1 mini, my losses are $200 because they're 10-point SLs. The average drawdown for a 50K is around $2,000. So I would have to lose 10 trades in a row to blow the account, which with how I trade is impossible. When my account value goes up and when I'm up on the day, I will usually switch to 2 minis and try and get more money. Doing this will get you funded accounts easier and faster than you have before. My focus is always on the live accounts because I don't care about funded accounts. I'm trying to get them done as soon as possible, but also while doing it correctly so I don't just blow money. Make sure to subscribe and join my Discord because even the free section has so much value. I'll see you guys in like 3 weeks.